Betty. Welcome to my kitchen. I want to share with you my recipe for chopped chicken livers, that all-time favorite Jewish dish. The holidays are coming up, and for a couple of years now I've been preparing this dish for a dear friend of mine. Obviously, coming out of my kitchen, it's not kosher, but it does taste really good. I'm using about 3 1/4 pounds of chicken livers. And I've got most of them cleaned, but I want to show you what you need to look for when you're going over them. What I usually do is dump the carton into a strainer, and you may find a couple of pieces that are not liver, so simply discard those. And then you want to look at the livers for any connective tissue. I find a scissor the easiest way to remove this. Cut it. These look good. You also want to look for any green or dark spots. And believe it or not, in 3 pounds of chicken livers, I found no such bits. Whether the processors are getting better at picking them out or what, I don't know. But this was a remarkably good batch. Right. These are now ready to go into the fry pan. I have here 5 large onions, which I've chopped and have cooked just to the point where they're soft. They don't need to brown. And I'm cooking these in a 1/2 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of rendered chicken fat. Chicken fat can be purchased in most stores. I happen to make some because I had a few really fatty chickens and just rendered up the fat one day. Now I'm going to add all of these livers. The recipe I'll give you at the end will be, of course, for a smaller quantity. But we'll just stir these and let them cook. We're not worried about having a crowded frying pan since we don't need anything to caramelize. It just needs to cook through. And you want them cooked until the livers are just slightly pink in the center. So these are going to take a good 10-15 minutes to cook, and I'll be stirring them occasionally. These chicken livers have been cooking for about 13 minutes now, and I can see they're still pretty red on the outside, so I know they're not ready. We'll check back in about 5 minutes. In addition to the liver and onions, I'm putting hard-boiled eggs into this mixture. And for this quantity, I'm using 7. I'm just going to chop them roughly. Now you can see there's no green ring around that egg yolk. If you want to learn how to prepare these, check my website. To check for doneness on these livers, what you want to do is take a small sharp knife, cut into one, sort of pry it apart there. If there's no pink remaining or just very little pink, you know you're done. I'll check this other one just to make sure. There. Just very slightly pink in the center. That's what we want. At this point, I'm going to season these. And I'm using about 3 teaspoons of salt and a good 1.5 teaspoons of freshly ground black pepper. We'll check for the seasoning after I've combined all of the ingredients. Remember, when you're tasting a dish for seasoning when it's hot, you might want to over-season it just a little because you'll lose a lot of that flavor in a dish that's going to be served cold, as this is. I've transferred the cooked and seasoned chicken livers and onions to a bowl, and now I'm just going to mix in these hard-boiled eggs and give them a toss to combine them. That does smell good. I have my trusty food processor ready with the large grating blade. And this is sort of my secret method for chopped liver. As opposed to chopping it, I'm going to grate it. I'm just going to scoop this up. Don't worry about having the ingredients totally mixed, because once this is done, we'll put it back in the bowl and give it another mix. Now, all you're going to do, don't use a lot of pressure. Just gently hold the top and let the blade do the work. And just continue on until you've used all of the mixture. It's a bit messy. I've transferred the processed mixture back into the bowl, and I'm just giving it a final stir to make sure all of the ingredients and seasonings are mixed. And what I'm going to do now is get a teaspoon and taste it for seasoning. Just right. So now I'm ready to pack it into my tureen. I'm just going to fill this up, and once it's done, I'm going to cover the top with a piece of plastic wrap, and it will go in the refrigerator for at least a day. This is the kind of dish where you want the flavors to marry and develop. Now, on Passover, this would be served with matzoh, of course. I like Carr's water biscuits. Or also nice are little toast rounds. You can also use little scoops on some salad leaves for an appetizer. But this is a wonderful dish that's perfect anytime. And you can see I have quite a bit of texture in here, which is what you want. That's why it's called chopped liver. You don't want it too fine. And the grating process really does this perfectly. Much faster than chopping, and of course faster than grating by hand. I'm going to give this a wrap to make sure the ingredients are settled. And just smooth it off with the back of my spatula. I'll cover it with a bit of saran, and it's ready to go into the refrigerator. I hope you'll enjoy this recipe. For further information and even more recipes, please visit my website.